Hello everybody. It's me. Shaggy Man. Zoinks. Just testing, the audio first, man. Need to make sure, everything's in order. Cause I just don't know. And Shaggy is here to give you a tier list. I'm just kidding. I'll probably drop the voice once we actually get into the video. Well, this is just, some testing. But I can do Shaggy Man. You know what else I can do beyond Shaggy? I can also do, the Joker. Now, I just. It's all about chaos. I got these cars. My father was a drinker. How does that all sound? I'm hoping it sounds okay. You let me know. But, tier lists. Because tier lists are fun. We'll see how this all sounds. Dingle hopper whopper dopper. I think it sounds okay. I think I'm sounding like a normal human right now, which is that sounds pretty good. Alrighty. I just wanted to check that. But yeah, here's an EU tier list. Why? Because why not? I'm also about to finish Black Fleet Crisis 1, but I just wanted to, do something else just in case I don't have the second book done by Thursday, because that's the problem. I used to be 6 books ahead of everybody, so I was always ahead for videos, but now I'm not. So, okay, thank you, Stevie. Good to see you. Good to see you. You can come on if you want. I don't know if you're busy, but you are free to do so. Not that, you haven't read everything yet, but I'll try not to be too spoilerific with anything particular with these characters, in case people haven't read the stories that they're featured in, but I thought it'd be fun. I don't know. I don't think this list is super complete, but it is what that is. So starting with, we got Ayla Secura. So just to give some fascinating tidbits about Ayla Secura, she's an EU character, first and foremost. So yeah, she's in episode 2 during, the Battle of Geonosis, and she has her death scene in episode 3, but she originated from the comics. She is not a movie character first. She is a EU character specifically that George decided to plop into his own films. So little tidbit of EU information for all of you. Now, Ayla Secura is a pretty great female character and a great character in general. I really love her character in the Republic comics. It is a big part in due to Quinlan Voss, though, because her story is pretty intertwined with Quinlan Voss. I won't get into why, but the thing in Legends is that they are in fact master and apprentice, so they have that. Oh, that's fair enough, Stevie. Well, hope work is going well. But the thing about that is that they do have this master and apprentice relationship, and all the things that she goes through and everything, a lot of it is intertwined with, Quillen Voss's arc. But that being said, she is really great, though. I think a lot of issues with that is comic book characters just inherently can't get as much development as characters in novels, because you don't really get to be inside their head too much. But I think she's a solid B. I think Ayla Secura is well deserving of a B spot on this list. So I'm going to put Ayla Secura in B, and I think that's fairly adequate and fair. Up next is Abeloth. I'm gonna be honest. I think that Abeloth is. I'm honestly heading toward D, but in all fairness, I'll give her a C. Without spoilers, Abeloth is a very Lovecraftian sort of idea. This ancient evil, this thing beyond comprehension, is the idea. The execution, however, she's fairly dull. She's meant to be this big, imposing threat, but I never felt that throughout any of the books she's featured in. She's decent, she's all right, but I can't give her any more than a C. So that's my ranking for that. Yeah. Up next, I guess, I'm imagining, I assume, because I think this is the only Mon Calamari on this list, that this must be Akbar. Now, the thing about Akbar is he is a movie character, right? Like he says, it's a trap, and And then Return of the Jedi is a trap. But that's like it. That's all he says, right? He's not really a character. He's just a fish head in the movies. But he becomes so much more in the EU. Whether it be through the X-Wing books, hell, even Black Fleet Crisis and the Jedi Academy trilogy, he really comes into his own. I really love Akbar in the expanded universe. I think he's a phenomenal character, and he actually got to be a character thanks to the expanded universe, as opposed to just being a talking fish. You know, he became so much more than he was in the movies through the EU, and I have to give Akbar a respectable A, and I think that's completely fair. Am I still sounding all right? Just trying to make sure because I'd hate to do an hour of this only to have it be mostly ununderstandable because it's always freaking annoying when that happens. Um, Let me just double checking real quick. Be mostly ununderstandable because it's always freaking annoying when that happens. All right, I'm sounding okay still, so that's good. Up next, who do we got here? We got a clone trooper. Is from the Republic series. So I imagine that's Alpha. I imagine Alpha's cool. But he doesn't get that much development. I don't know. I like Alpha, but I wouldn't give him more than a C, and I think that's fair. Put Alpha at C, assuming that is Alpha. So that's where I'm gonna leave him. Then we got Anakin Skywalker. So I can't count the movies or the novelizations to the movies because those are the movies. We're talking about EU characters, you know. And I think it's a little unfair because he has the addition of the movies. And he was a character in all those films. That being said, I do think that the EU does a lot to enhance his character beyond what we see in the films. And Anakin Skywalker is a cautionary tale of what not to be like. And I do love his character. You know, I grew up with him and everything, and all the things I read in the EU, mostly, you know, only help further that love. So I will not give Anakin S tier, you know, even if my, you know, nostalgia might want it. Anakin Skywalker gets a respectable A, and I think that's perfectly fair for him. Anakin Solo, Anakin Skywalker's grandfather. Oh, thank you. I'm doing all right. How about you, dude? I don't even know if Var was on this list, but he should be S tier if he is there. But Anakin Solo is a great character. You know, we start off with him in Young Jedi Knights, or Junior Jedi Knights, my bad. I mean, he's in other books too, you know, like the Crawling trilogy, but we really get to start getting to know him in Junior Jedi Knights. And he's doesn't get too much attention beyond New Jedi Order. But what we see of him is so good. So it's a toss-up for me in between A tier or S tier for Anakin. But I think at the end of the day, you know, yes, and you know what? There are a lot of feelings involved in this, but I think I'm gonna have to give Anakin, if I could freaking see it. Not this. I'm not giving him a hold on. I think I can give him a respectable S tier. I think Anakin deserves it, so I'm gonna give him that one. Next, this is. Am I stupid? I honestly. Does anybody know who this is? This would really help me out. I'm not recognizing the face, but if somebody gave me a name, I probably know who it is. I don't recognize the picture. Does anybody know who that is? Because that would really help me. For now, because there's nobody really watching this right now. I'm gonna put whoever this is in not sure, just because I don't remember who they are. So, same thing with this Jedi lady. Imagine this is something from the Old Republic, but I don't recognize her at all. Not really, anyway. So I'm gonna put this one as well, and not sure. Now we have Asajj Ventress. We got '03 Clone Wars. We got, even if you aren't a big fan of it, we got '08 Clone Wars. We got all the Republic comics plus the novels she appears in. I like Ventress a lot. She's not the greatest character ever, but she is really cool, and I think she's well deserving of at least a solid, not C, but a B. I think Asajj is pretty great. I think that's fair. Up next, we've got Aura Singh. Aura Singh's really cool as well. Aura Singh is the Grievous before Grievous. She would collect Jedi lightsabers. She wanted revenge. There's a lot of cool things about Ayla Secura. Aura Singh. I really like Aura Singh in the Republic comics. She's super intimidating and stuff, and I'm thinking I can give her a solid B as well. I don't know if all the comic characters will be in B, but so far that's how we've got 3 comic book characters in B tier. So there is that. What the hell is that? Give me a moment. I cannot see. I am blind as a bat. I think that is Barra Sophie. Barra Sophie is really cool. The book that made me really appreciate her is the MedStar duology. But I think she's a very solid character. Regardless of what Slav wants to say, whether it was Dave Filoni or George Lucas, doesn't matter. I despise what was done in that arc, where I like the arc where Ahsoka gets framed and, gets in trouble and all that. What I don't like about that arc is the fact that Barriss Offee is the one to do it. It is completely contradictory to everything that Barriss Offee stands for. Everything that she is, everything that she was, gone in a flash because of that decision. Excluding that, ignoring that because it's stupid, Barriss Offee, from me, I think it's a solid B as well. I'm getting a lot of B's so far. I apologize. Up next, we have Bastila Shan from the KOTOR game. I would say the Revan novel, but she's barely in it, so I don't really count that. But Bastila's, she's fine. She's not the greatest female character in the expanded universe. She's not the worst. She has, good moments to her and everything, but she's definitely not one of my favorites. I think I'll leave her with a respectable C. I think that's the highest I could put Bastila, because she just, I don't know. There's not much to her, I suppose. And if I'm wrong, you can fight me on that one. That's fine. Ben Skywalker. I'm sorry, guys. This is, for me, the easiest S tier I've ever given so far for this, what we have. Ben Skywalker, easy S tier. Freaking love Ben Skywalker. Everything about Ben, from Dark Nest and onwards, I love Ben. People can hate on that era all they want, but Ben is one of my favorite aspects of that era is Ben Skywalker. Ben is literally just a baby in New Jedi Order, but moving forward, he became one of my favorites. In Legacy of the Force especially, really warmed me up to him. And my Fate of the Jedi, I loved that kid. I wanted to see where that kid would go. I need the expanded universe to continue, because I need more stories with Ben Skywalker. Absolutely love Ben Skywalker. Easiest S tier today. Love Ben Skywalker. Up next, we have Boba Fett. Boba Fett is a bounty hunter, and he's cool. He does whatever he wants. He's the coolest guy in the room. That's great. But if that's all it was, he'd be getting a solid C. But you know what bumps Boba Fett up to B for me? Legacy of the Force. Suck it, Noah. You know why? Because Legacy of the Force actually makes him a compelling character, along with Jango Fett Open Seasons, fleshing out his father, and the Boba Fett Blood Ties and Boba Fett is Dead comics, furthering fleshing out his character and actually making him somebody worth liking. So, thanks to Legacy of the Force, praise Denning, Boba Fett, who was originally going to get a C from me, can now jump up to a solid B. You're welcome. Thank you, Legacy of the Force. Um, Up next, uh, is that supposed to be Kyle? Because I am not seeing anybody else on this list who looks like Kyle. I think that's supposed to be Kyle, guys. I'm not sure. I'm not seeing anybody else on here that resembles Kyle Katarn. I see Jan down there. I'm going to assume this is Kyle Katarn. I don't know who else it would be. There was many other pictures that could have been used on this freaking tier list to make this easier on me to understand who the hell it is I'm looking at. But assuming that that is supposed to be, freaking Kyle Katarn and not like Booster Tarek or something. Kyle Katarn's fun. He's fine. He's mostly a video game character, and back in the day, they didn't really try to flesh out video games that much. They didn't really try to make like Last of Us type stories or anything. Kyle Katarn's cool. He's fine. I can't give him anything more than a C though, and that's just me. But yeah, that's where I'm gonna leave it. If that is Kyle Katarn, that's where he stays. Up next, we have Borsk Fela. We all hate Borsk, but for all the right reasons. We are meant to hate Borsk. But Borsk as a character is phenomenal. Like, we can hate him all we want, but that's the point. And they did it. Timothy Zahn did that so expertly well in all of his appearances, moving forward and backward in time. Is just incredible. I have to. I can't not give Borsk anything less than A tier. Like, Borsk is phenomenal. He's a great, not villain, but antagonist, and deserves that spot. Up next, we have Bosk. I'm going to be honest. I don't know if I'm going to get hate for this. D. He's just not that interesting. He's kind of boring to me. Easiest D all night. I don't know what to tell you guys. He's just not that interesting. I get it. He's cool. He's like a dinosaur. He looks like the person that Kirk beat up in Star Trek, but he's just kind of boring, man. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But yeah. Up next, we have Bria Theron from the AC Crispin Han Solo trilogy. I really love her character. I warmed up to her a lot, and I think she gets a respectable B. I love a lot of what they do with her, and yeah, she betrays Han in that trilogy, but I think it makes sense for who she is and what she's gone through, and I really enjoy that about her. Up next, we have C-3PO, who is a movie character and doesn't really change that much. He remains consistently the same throughout every era. He gets a respectable C. I mean, he's fun. He's C-3PO. We love C-3PO, but I can't really put him any higher than C. That, and he's a movie character. So, up next we have Cade Skywalker. What can we say about Cade? Cade is literally everything that a Skywalker shouldn't be, and that's part of the reason why I love him so much. Because Cade is the antithesis to what we understand a Skywalker to be and should be. It's kind of like a deconstruction, actually, of the Skywalker family without being disrespectful like other things have been. But, I think this is going to be the first comic book character on this list to get my rating of A tier. I love Cade. Can't help it. Cade's great. Oh, no. Scott. Yeah, more tier list. I mean, why not? I mean, yeah, he's edgy, but there is goodness and stuff in him. It's just all the things he experienced and whatnot making him be, more edgy. And that's whole part of his arc is, becoming more that hero that he should be. But it's nice to see a Skywalker, start out like kind of jaded and be dark and stuff. It is edgy, sure. It's a comic book, just like Quillen Voss was kind of edgy at times. But Cade, it's interesting because I didn't really know where they were going with Cade, and I didn't really like him when I started the comic. But by the end of it, I found myself caring about him, and I think that's a mark of a great character is when you can go from kind of being indifferent and being wary of the direction it's going to really vibing and enjoying it. And I think they did that really well with Cade Skywalker. And he's the first person on this list that's from a comic book to receive an A ranking, because pretty much all the comic book characters have gotten a B so far. So I understand being annoyed with his edginess, but I enjoy it. So that's just me. And then we have Callista, boys and girls. Callista Ming. Robot woman lady. What can I say? What can I say about this? I mean, I don't even know, man. I don't even know. I like Callista in concept. Yes, Scott, Borsk Fela is an A tier because he's an awful person, but a phenomenal character. You're meant to hate him. That's the point. He's a well-written character. It's why you hate him so much. That's the whole point. If you can make you hate him that much, that means that, Zahn and everyone else who wrote him was doing a good job. Stackpole and everyone else who wrote for him. So he gets A tier for being a good character that you love to hate. Good movie, by the way. I remember Easy A with Emma Stone. Man. I don't know. Callista's a weird one because I really like her ideas and concept. I don't really like her relationship with Luke at all, but I enjoy her as a person, if that makes sense. But I don't enjoy most of the stories involving her. I don't know. I don't think I can give her an A. I don't think I can give her a C or a D either. It's between a C or a B, honestly, for me. I think what I'll stick with is uh, uh I'm gonna leave her at C. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna give her a D or anything, but I can't give her more than a C personally. Um, I do like her in the Travis prequels. I also it's not canon, it's not official, but Hand of Thrawn 45 did make a story where we got to learn about the event that caused her to be in a machine, and that was really great. If we could get official story about that, that would be even more phenomenal than just some fan writing something. But my God, just getting to experience some form of a story where Callista gets stuck in it was stuck into a machine was far more enjoyable than I ever expected it to be. So if I can get an official version of that, yes, please. But up next we have what's his name? I literally, oh my God, I'm such a bad EU fan. The Mandalorian from KOTOR. What is your name? What is your name? You become Mandalore. But what is your name? I don't remember. I'm such a bad person. But I know you. You're great. All the conversations that you get to have with him in the KOTOR game are some of the best conversations, some of the best dialogue that you get in the entire game. And for me personally, he is an easy A tier. For me personally, I really like his character. I like everything he added in the Revan novel as well. I really enjoy his character. He's a great addition to the Star Wars universe. Canderous, thank you. I knew it was Canderous Ordo. Thank you so much, Canderous Ordo. Easy A tier for me. Even though I couldn't remember his name. Hey man. Oh, just so you know, guys, on Lance's server on Jedi Knight, I left a link if anybody wants to join and discuss things. I have a link in the Jedi Knight thing on Discord. Anyway. Wait, is that the guy that voiced Canderous Ordo? That's actually really cool, if that's the case. Oh, by the way, Ghostfish, since you're here, anybody actually that's watching the stream, who are these two people? Because I'll probably recognize their name, but I don't recognize these pictures. So if you know who these people are, I could actually finally put them in an actual ranking, but I just don't remember them. Oh, fair enough, Quinlan. That's okay, man. Am I still sounding like a human? Yeah, fair enough. Well, until somebody tells me who those other 2 people are, I'll move on. I legit have no idea who this is supposed to be. Is this just clone troopers in general or stormtroopers? Like, oh, not that. I cannot tell who this is. So I'm gonna put this in not sure because I don't know. I don't know who that's supposed to be. Grand Moff Kane. Okay, Grand Moff Kane. Okay, Grand Moff Kane. I honestly, I don't remember much. So I'll leave it in not sure where to place that ranking. Um, oh, is that the pentastar alignment, or is this a different thing? I don't remember. There's so much information. I think it was the pentastar alignment or something. Was what he was in charge of, right? Or is it something else? But I'll move on. This is Connor Jax, I believe. He's an okay villain. I don't know. I didn't think he was incredible or anything. I give him a C. He wasn't that compelling to me personally. He's fine. Um, yeah, I literally don't. Pentastar. Yeah, I was right. I was right. Okay. Um, as for the clone, I literally Commander Neo. I don't not Neo. Neo. Is that the one from Cestus Deception? No, it's not. One from Cestus Deception was like something with a J. That's not Boba Fett's granddaughter. No, he's got a lightsaber. No, Boba Fett's granddaughter's further down the list. So I don't know who that is. It's somebody from the Old Republic, I think, but I don't remember. So I'm just gonna leave these 3 and not sure. So that's where it is for now. Um, but up next we have frick. Stop it. All right, we got no. You were here next. Uh, freaking what's his name? Karth Onasi. Right, Karth. Karth loves to complain. But I also love the guy. I think I give Karth a solid B. I think he's a good character. I think he's a good man, best bud, good friend. Give him a solid B. Lobaka, all right, man, easy A tier. Okay, I gotta vomit. This is not where I'm leaving it. A tier. I'm gonna have to question it. Lobaka is A tier, unless that's Chewbacca. Is that Chewbacca or Lobaka? Either way, Chewbacca and Lobaka both get A tier regardless. But I can't tell. But that's also a movie character. So I don't see any other Wookiees on this list. Yeah, no. That's the only Wookiee on the list. So I'm assuming it's Lobaka. But if it's not, we'll make this 2. Chewbacca gets A tier, 1, because he's a movie character already, and he doesn't really get that much development beyond what he already is in the movies, you know? But Lobaka is a solid dude and gets A tier from me, regardless. So remember who it is. I think that image is Chewie. Okay, well, whatever. Regardless, Lobaka deserves to be on this tier, and I don't see another um freaking Wookiee on this list. So I'm gonna put 2 for the price of 1 and give Chewbacca and Lobaka a solid A, and I think that's fair. I don't know. I like them both. Well, hello, sir. Never seen you before, but I will get to Kreia. She's just further down the list. I'm just going in order of whoever made the tier list. So I will get to it. Um, up next, we have. This is this is one of the New Jedi Order pictures. So that's got to be Corrin, right? That's Corrin, I think. I don't see any other pictures of Corrin on here. Yeah, this is Mirtha. That's Boba Fett's granddaughter right there. Oh, Lubaka is on this list. I'm so stupid. Never mind. I see him. I did not see he blended in so well. Well, regardless, I'm gonna go up here real quick. Since I already talked about Lubaka, I'm just gonna place him on A tier with Chewbacca. They both get it. There we go. I fixed it, guys. I did not see that. I gotta be completely honest. I completely missed that. Um, oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. It's very nice of you. Glad you enjoyed my sitting on the couch and talking about stuff. Appreciate it. um, I think this is supposed to be Cornhorn. I like Corn, but he's also like kind of a Gary Stew. I don't know, man. I'll give him a solid B. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of Corn. I understand why people love him so much, but he's got a B for me. He's good. He's good though. Danny Quee, Emperor's Black Bones. Ha ha ha. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. She gets D. I won't be mean. I just really don't like Danny Quee a as a character. She's whatever. But the thing that really grinds my gears is the fact that she dates Jason Solo when Jason Solo should only ever be with Tino Ka, and it was annoying to have that completely ignored in New Jedi Order for the sake of this stupid loser new girl who was introduced only in that series. Anyway, she gets D tier because I say so, and if you don't like it, make your own damn tier list. I'm just messing with you. I don't really care, but I'm leaving her D. I ain't changing it. Fight me. Right? Yes, thank you. Right? There's so many other pictures that could have been used, but I'm pretty sure it's Corin. So no, that is most definitely Lobaka because I remember that from one of the Young Jedi Knights pictures. But I don't even think Lumpy's on this list, unfortunately. But Lumpy would be like a C because Lumpy doesn't really have any stories outside the one short story. Who the fudge? All right, anybody can tell because anybody tell me what the hell I'm looking at here. I don't remember this at all. I don't remember this at all. Um, yeah. I know, but I don't vibe with Danny Quee at all. Well, I have no idea who this chick is or dude is or whatever the hell this is. So I'm gonna put this in not sure for now. I just don't know who that is. Darth Bane, I gotta give him a solid S. Whether or not his book trilogy is perfect or anything doesn't really matter, but him as a character, I think, is a pretty solid S. Like he's has a very clear arc from beginning to end, and I really enjoy his character. He's a solid S for me. His book series being an S, possibly not. That's a different discussion with more debate. But I think he's a pretty solid character. Right? Exactly. I literally can't tell. So I'm gonna leave it in not sure. Whoever made this tier list, get better pictures next time. I'm just kidding. I'm not trying to be mean. Just like hard to know who I'm looking at. Up next we have Darth Crate. If I'm including everything about this character and it's not just his appearance and legacy, then I have to. This can be my first comic book character to get the ranking of S tier. I really love Crate. Crate's great. He gets S tier for me. So that's my take. If we're counting him as Ashrod and Crate, then I'm putting him in that tier. I mean, fair enough. I think he's pretty solid. So, Malik, nah. Even with Alec in KOTOR comics, I can't give him anything more than a D, to be honest. He's just not that interesting. Honestly, Malgus would also be in D. The only reason I'm going to give him a C is because my the testosterone in my brain when I watched that Deceived trailer makes me think of how cool he is, and that's the only thing that ranks him up for a C. But as for depth, I mean, I guess he had one novel, so he's slightly more in depth than Malik is. Actually, no, I think that's fair. Malgus deserves a C. Malik can't get anything more than a D, and that's how I'm gonna take it. Yeah, Het's phenomenal. Absolute great character. Up next, what do we got? We got Darth Maul. So if we're including, Darth Maul Shadowhunter on Lockdown and the Episode 1 Adventures and Darth Plagueis and even TCW, I think Darth Maul is a solid B character. He's not one of the best, but he's solid. I like him a lot. He's a good guy. Not a good guy. He's a bad person, but he's a good character. Just not one of the best. So I'll put him in B. Up next, That's not Lumaya. I don't think so. No. You know why that's not Lumaya? Because I'm pretty sure if we go further down, there's a turban lady, which is obviously Lumaya, because Lumaya's the only one that does that. You think so? Hold on a second. Where? I thought I saw a turban lady. Yeah, right here. That's Lumaya right there. So it's not. That's not Lumaya. Darth Nihilus, I mean, he's like an interesting concept, like a very like Lovecraftian sort of concept, but he's not really a character. Like the entire point of his character is that he lacks character because he lost it all. Like all he's concerned about is hunger. Like I need to feed, 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 feed. So just like Abeloth, I don't think I can give him anything more than a C. Although on the plus side, he actually feels like more of a threat than Abeloth ever did in any of the books that she's featured in. So that's a one up for Darth Nihilus, but still I don't think can bring him up to a B. For who? For Darth Nihilus, I can. He doesn't deserve it. He's not a character. He's just a plot device, really. Plagueis, I struggle between an A and an S, but I think I'm gonna put him. I think. I'll put him an S. He's pretty solid in his own novel. I like what they do with him. It's really the only novel where we get to learn anything about him. But that being said, we learn a lot about him, and he is a very interesting character. So I think he is probably one of the most interesting Sith Lords we have on this list. And so it's a struggle for me to decide whether to be an A or an S. But I'm ultimately sticking with S, and I think that's fair. Dang, am I? It looks like a headwear thing. I don't know. I wasn't trying to be mean. But I say things. I've said a lot worse things when I was younger. Are you kidding me? High school me needs to go kill himself. I swear. High school me was I hate myself so much, man. You don't even know. Friggin' the things I used to say to be funny. I just Booster? Is that supposed to be Booster? I thought that was Kyle Katarn. I can't tell. Booster would be a B. If Kyle Katarn is on this list, then he's a C. Because Kyle Katarn is just a video game character and doesn't have much going for him. I don't see anybody else on. Oh, there's Kyle Katarn. Sorry. All right, Booster's a B. I'll fix it right now. Give me a second. Let's see. Okay. C. And then we get a B for Booster. My man. The myth, the legend himself. All right, there we go. I fixed it. So Kyle Katarn, C, because he's just a video game character. There's not much to him. And Booster, because he's one of the funniest characters that Stackpole ever created. I mean, in my heart, yeah, but as an actual character, I don't think he really earns a S tier spot because he's not featured enough. No, I know you're not being serious. I'm just saying, like, I was a terrible person in high school, middle school. I'd freaking despise myself back then. I think I'm a lot better now, but I used to be the things I used to say, man, just to get a laugh out of people. Not good. Not super cringe, not based version of Alex, I swear. But what do we got moving forward? We got Revan, the controversial one. I like Revan, guys. I don't know about you. Is there 2 different versions of freaking Palpatine in here? That's really stupid. I'm gonna give Revan a solid A. That's gonna piss off some people. I think Revan's a good character. But that's just me. I think if you count the video game and the novel and the SWTOR MMO, I think he's worthy of an A tier spot. But that's just me. I understand why people have their issues with him, but I think he's a solid A. Booster handing young Wedge the helmet and the keys to his starfighter earned him the A tier immediately. I mean, fair enough. I'm happy with B for Booster, though. B is in his name. B for his ranking. I think that's fair. I think this is just supposed to be Palpatine. I think that's really stupid. But obviously, the meme of the channel is that I'm some stupid pervert, according to Matt Wilkins. So we're going to put both versions, whether it be clone Palpatine or normal Palpatine, in S tier. Um, I mean, he also has the movies, which is kind of frustrating because it's supposed to be an EU tier list. Um, but both versions of Palpatine, whether it be prequels, whether it be OT, whatever, Palpatine is an S tier character. So I think that's not really debatable. He's pretty great. So I think I can be happy with that. No one can really argue with me. Deal with it. If you don't like it, make your own. Talon. Oh, I'm gonna piss people off. Talon is a C. I don't know. There's not much to her. She's just a hot chick that's a bad guy, and they don't really dive into her character that much in the comics. Hey, man. Hope school's going well. I hope you're not gonna get in trouble for this, man. Don't risk getting in trouble for this. Naked Palpatine S+. Yeah. And then the one that what was his name? Sorry. The one that Luke Aven was waiting for. Kreia. Kreia, I'll be honest. Again, I think she is a solid A tier. I'll be completely straight. I think she's a great character. She would get S tier, but there's one person I value and like way more than her. We'll get to her eventually. It's another her, yes. And people have seen some of my other videos, might already guess who that is. But yeah, Cray is pretty great. I love her philosophy. See, like, Noah will get upset with me for saying that Verge is like, she's not a Jedi, but she's not a Sith. Like there's some nuance to things, man, because Kreia is nuanced. Because the whole thing with Kreia is that she was a Sith. She trained Darth Nihilus. She trained Darth Zion. Then they betrayed her. Then she went through her existential crisis and all the things that she was thinking about, philosophizing about. And the Kreia we see in KOTOR 2 is not a Jedi and is not a Sith. She's just this weird thing, right? She used to be a Sith. She used to believe in those ideals. She doesn't anymore. She still uses the dark side, though. She's this weird thing. She doesn't fit into this box of who she's supposed to be, right? And I think that's what makes her so compelling and so interesting. And the same applies for Verge, because Noah's like, oh, she's a Jedi always. Ugh, piss off. She's not a Sith and she's not a Jedi. You're just being too simple-minded about it. But whatever. Talon is Emperor's Black Bones. I think she's fine. I don't think she's a horrible character. Obviously. Up next, after that, we have Dooku. We don't get a lot of Dooku, but what we get is incredible. I think Yoda Dark Rendezvous, if I didn't read Yoda Dark Rendezvous, he would be an A. But thanks to Yoda Dark Rendezvous, he's an S. Because we have the Republic comics where he's phenomenal. We have the episode 3 novelization, but I don't think any of that was enough to warrant him being an S tier character. I was going to be completely happy with just an A. Then I read Yoda Dark Rendezvous, and it just leaps and bounds, just jumped him up to S tier. Like, Dooku's one of the most fascinating characters in Star Wars, and it sucks that we didn't get more with him. If the EU ever gets continued, I want more Dooku. So I'm pretty happy with that. I mean, I think that's fine. Darth Vader. I mean, this also kind of goes in with Anakin Skywalker, and he's also a movie character. So I'm gonna drop Darth Vader in A, the same spot I left Anakin Skywalker, because they're the same person, and also, there's a lot of great stories with Darth Vader in the EU. I think about Rise of Darth Vader, some of those comic books and stuff, but we mostly just get to see, Vader post episode 3, see the stuff that he's, freaking out about and worrying about, kind of before just accepting what he is. And that's pretty much just the movie Darth Vader that we see. And when we see him in the Marvel comics and everything, he's just as evil Vader. There's not too much to him. And, he's solid, he's good, but I don't think Vader in the EU gets S tier. If we're just doing the movie characters, of course, he's an S tier. But as far as the EU goes, I think him and his earlier self as Anakin are a solid A, and I think that's fair. Fair enough. Oh, fair enough. Oh, that's good then. But, up next, we have Darzana. Oop, oop, oopity-doop, ba-doop, ba-doop, oopity. No, she's not there. I'm just need to okay. She is S tier for me. Yep, I love Darzana. Xana's incredible. I wish we would have gotten a novel based on Darzana. She's one of my favorite female characters in the expanded universe. I don't know if she was in my top 5 video. I honestly don't remember. But regardless, she's in the top 10, and she should have gotten her own novel. I know that Karpashin still wants to make it, and I hope he does because she's great. I love her character so much in that series. She only shows up at the end of book 1, is in all of 2 and 3. But that being said, I wanted more. She's such a good character. I wanted to see her, as a Sith, master, and what that would entail and what that would do. We get nothing. It so sucks. It sucks, man, because it's so good. I want more of it. But yeah, S tier for me. Not even a question. Who's next? Frick. Okay. A Dash Rendar. If we were only going off of Shadows of the Empire, he would be D tier. What bumps him up is Shadow Games by Michael Reeves. And because of Shadow Games, B tier. Dash Rendar gets boosted up 2 tiers simply because of that one novel. Absolutely incredible. Up next, we have Delilah Blue. Easy S tier because she's so hot. Just kidding. That was a joke. She's fine. She's not that incredible of a character. She's not horrible, or she's not great. So the same place I put Talon, she's at C. However, if we're going based off of looks, then she far surpasses Talon because Talon, despite everybody goo-goo gogging over her, is not that attractive. Sorry, not sorry. Fight me. They're not basing it off of their looks. I'm just saying, like, as a character, she's fine. Is this like all of Republic Commando or just like, I don't know. I mean, all the clone troopers in Republic Commando for me are like a solid C. Like, I don't love them. I don't hate them. None of the clones are my favorite characters in the Republic Commando series. My favorite character in the Republic Commando series is, I think, further down this list. But yeah, that's where I'm leaving it. Then we have Dengar, who's a solid B for me. All thanks to the Tales of the Bounty Hunter books. Really, really made me fall in love with Dengar. I think Dengar is a great bounty hunter. He's even more interesting than Boba Fett, if I'm going to be honest. Sea Spider, after I'm done with this video, I can send you a link. I'll send you a link to the tier list, okay? It has a lot of them. I don't know if it has all of them. This is the most, this is the largest one I found so far on the internet. But what's next? We'll see. Hold on. Up next we have Dirge. Dirge is fun. He's not much of a character though. But he's really builds up that testosterone when you see him though. I think I can give. I mean, like my man brain goes, put him in A tier. He's so cool, man. But realistically, he's like a C character. Like he's fine, but he's not very deep or anything. But like, the fanboy in me is like, no, S tier, S tier, S tier. But like, he doesn't deserve it, so I'm not gonna put him in S tier just because like I personally think he's really cool. I don't think it's a very good reason to put someone in S tier just because they're cool. So I try to do it based off like how much they actually are in the EU, how much character development they actually have. Dirge is kind of just, I'm this cool guy, just like Boba Fett, but there's not much more to him than that. Oh my gosh, Scott. Delilah is S tier for talking about attractiveness. Okay, I'm just saying that as a character, she's okay. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Okay, it has nothing to do with my love for Palpatine. Okay, I swear. I'm assuming this is not Darman, who's also in the picture. This is Attain. Ah, I'm really struggling here. Okay, I won't be mean. D tier, but like I don't know, man. Attain is not that great of a character. She gets a lot of development. Some of it is really fast and bad, but she does get a lot of development. But I just never really cared that much about her, and I don't know. You think after like 5 books, you'd make a really compelling character, but she just never really became that for me. But she's fine. Um, but I can't be mean because I don't hate her. I can't put her in Emperor's Black Bones, but she's not deserving of anything higher. I don't think personally. Um, again, freaking X Raccoon. I love you. I love him. He's one of my favorite parts of Tales of the Jedi. I love X Raccoon. But there's also not a lot too much development with him. I mean, okay, my heart wants to put him at A or S, but realistically, um I'm gonna put X Raccoon in B. My heart says S, but as a character, he's not super deep or anything. He's actually fairly shallow, but he's just really cool while doing it. So I'm gonna put him in B tier. And I think we can find a happy medium and not get too upset at my ranking there. Oh. Hey! Marcel, are you free? Do you want to tell me why I'm wrong? Look, Marcel, listen to me. Listen to me. My heart, every part of my being, every part of me says he should be S. But the problem is, if we're actually like looking at his story, there's not too much development or character for him, right? He's a very eager student and he very quickly falls to the dark side, and he's a really cool dark side user. He's a really cool Sith Lord for the rest of the series, and he dies. Okay, like he's not that deep. Like I get it. He's amazing. I love him too, but he's not that deep. I'm trying to be like objective as possible here, and he can't get any more than B. Like I think I'm stretching it just to put him in B. Like I love him. I want to put him in S. Like I think it's a stretch. So he should be like a C for how average he is. But I'm putting him in B because I personally love him. Yes, he can. And he again, every part of fiber of my being saying, yeah, S tier, S tier, S tier. But as a character, he's pretty shallow. That's what I'm saying. What do you mean he's not shallow? What do you mean he's not shallow? He's his whole character is, man, I want to learn more. My teachers aren't letting me learn more. And then he does learn more. It's with dark side stuff. He goes bad. And I love it. I love it. But it's very simple. Okay, well, I'm just talking about Tales of the Jedi comics, which is the main thing that people will be reading, unless they're super deep fans that are reading all the source materials and whatnot. Yes. Okay. I put him in B. I thought that was a happy medium. Okay. Okay, cool. He's a Jedi archaeologist, man. Make your own tier list, Marcel. I know you're gonna put him in S. I thought about putting him in S, but I just don't think it's realistic to put him in S. So I'm gonna. The biggest thing you're gonna get me up to is an A. I'm not putting him in S though. Holistically, I suppose. I suppose the most you can convince me is that he could be an A tier. I don't think he's deserving of S tier though, personally. But I understand why you do. Free X Raccoon. Muhaha. I love him though. I love him though. And in my heart, he will always be S tier. I just don't think objectively he deserves it. Ganner. Ganner. Ganner Rysode. You know, he was a very weird character when he first started. But, by the end of Trader, I love that guy. You know what? Here's all I'll do. It's just to make Marcel not cry as much. Okay, I will jump X Raccoon to A because I'm going to put Ganner in B. Okay, and I think we can all live happy with that choice. Ganner is very solid character. I love Ganner. So though his none shall pass is very similar to Gandalf's you shall not pass, and I find that a little coincidental there. But we'll leave that be. I'm a saucy whisperer. Yes. Free X Raccoon. Look, I jumped him up to A. Leave me be. Up next. Who? Uh, I'm confused. Who is that? That no. Who am I looking at? Who is that supposed to be? That's what. Who is this? Is this because Keltainer was right here? Who's this? Is that Gavin? All right, everyone, tell me, is this guy right here Gavin? That is Gavin? Oh, yes, I was right. Bada bing, bada boom. Gavin's cool. He has a weird thing with the Salonian and the X-Wing books, but you know, bestiality and all that. I struggle between an A and a B for Gavin, but I don't know. I think I will settle with a B for Gavin. Maybe you guys disagree, but I think I'm gonna leave him with B there. He's pretty solid though. He's good. He's pretty much in the same spot that I put Corn. Gavin is a furry. F tier for furry. Yeah, basically. Man, look at Marcel simping over Exar Kun. Uncovered a Sith super weapon. He created the double-bladed lightsaber. He managed to mind control a bunch of academics and create a cult in Star Wars galaxies. He turned a ton of Jedi and created a Sith Academy on Korriban. Okay, I'm happy with A tier. Thank you. I'm Marcel, the revanchist. Today we'll be reviewing why Alex is a complete and utter retard, why he's wrong and I'm right. Brought to you by Marcel. Alrighty, this is how I talk. It's pretty incredible. His voice is so soothing and great, unlike Alex, which just grinds your gears after you hear it after a while. Muhahaha. Moving forward. I think that was a pretty good impression of Marcel. Personally, I think I did a good job with that one. but you know, anyway, up next is Grievous. I'm gonna be honest. I think Grievous is super cool, but I think he's a C. I don't think he's a super. I mean, there's some sources that give him a little bit more depth. He was a warrior race, and he was kind of tricked into becoming what he became and all that. But at the end of the day, I just don't think he's that deep. Like there's some more to his character that meets the eye, but there's not enough of it to really let me grant him any higher than a C in my personal opinion. Thank you, Scott. Welcome as I go and read the. I don't even know what's next. What's next in your on your thing that you got to read next, Marcel? I am the revanchist. Welcome as we read Exar Kun as he takes a dump, and why that's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Because Exar Kun knows exactly how to take a dumpy correctly. I don't know, but Marcel's voice is just like the sweetest thing ever. It's like, man, you want to fall asleep? Just listen to Marcel. Not because he's boring, but because it's just so soothing. Like just like if I could listen to like a 10-hour reading of Marcel, I don't like of some novel, I would just fall asleep to that like every night. It'd be great. Get on that, Marcel. Make a ASMR sleeping video for all of us that have trouble sleeping. ASMR Exar Kun stories. I'm Marcel, the revanchist. Up next is KOTOR, Admiral's List Reports. Exciting. Be prepared. Why, thank you, Stevie. You are absolutely incredible as well. But no, yeah, you are great, Stevie. Absolutely, you're a phenomenal guy. That's why you're on my S tier when I did my rankings, or A tier, wherever I put you. Basically, you're really high up there, and you're amazing and a wonderful guy. So I'll always remember that. Up next, This literally, I'm not even discussing it. There's no question. There's no debate. You're not allowed to question me on it. You're not allowed to make any comments about it. If you disagree, you're wrong and you need to go check yourself. You have problems, go seek therapy, because Gilead Pelion is the easiest S tier ever received, ever in the history of ever anythings. Anything. You're anything. Like, if you disagree in the slightest, you're wrong. You're factually incorrect. You need to go check your heart, your soul, your everything. You need help, because Gilead Pelion is one of the best characters in all of Star Wars, let alone the expanded universe. Gilead is the easiest S tier to ever be given. And if you disagree, go cry, because you're wrong. And there's nothing more to say about that. Gilead is one of the best characters ever. If you don't agree, I don't know what to tell you. Tarkin. Tarkin's an interesting case. I'm gonna give Tarkin a B. I think he's a good character, but I don't know. I don't personally vibe with him as much as some other people do. I think he's fine. I think Gilead, Thrawn, so many other Imperial characters, even Dala, I think is more interesting than Tarkin. Like, Tarkin's like a really cool bad guy and all that, but he's just Scott, don't make me lower your YouTube tier list from C to nothing. Okay. Just kidding. No, it doesn't matter. That's the thing. Pelion doesn't want to be a leader. He wants to follow. He wants to be a good soldier. Yet every time that leadership is thrust upon him, he does it expertly well. And his death, when that comes, I won't say when and what book, doesn't matter. There's no other way, I think, that could have gone. Like, he is the most consistently written character in all the expanded universe. Nobody ever wrote him poorly. He's not meant to be a cool villain. He's not a villain. He is a good man who truly believes that the Empire is what's best and lives his life accordingly to that. And when it's time to join forces with the New Republic to face a greater threat, he does it, because he does what's best and right for his people. We love Pelion because he grows, he matures, he advances. He learns the best things from Dala, from Thrawn, advances and moves forward while remaining a good person at his center. The number one. I don't know if I agree. I mean, I dislike that trilogy wholeheartedly. Like, Force Heretic trilogy is boring. But Pelion was not one of the weaker points for me. So I don't know if I can agree with that. I mean, yeah, sure. No, he's written fine. The story itself is just boring. Force Heretic trilogy sucks. But my point is that Pelion himself as a character is not written inconsistently. Like, Pelion still feels like Pelion in those books. It's just a boring story. But everything about Pelion remains consistently solid, because nobody ever got Pelion wrong. Karen Travis didn't. Even Kevin J. Anderson didn't. They all understood the character and did it expertly well. Pelion, S tier easily. I will not have debate. Easiest S tier ever received. And if you disagree, seek guidance. Go meditate on this, you shall. Han Solo. I mean, he is a movie character. Here's the thing. I think what I'm going to do with all movie characters, if I think they're really good, they're not getting anything higher than an A, because they're movie characters, and it's supposed to be an EU tier list. Now we get to learn a lot about Han through the expanded universe that can make you care about Han Solo more than the films do themselves. And so I think he's a very respectable A, because, excluding the movies, Han, with the A.C. Crispin trilogy, with the Brian Daley trilogy, just, warm you up to him and make you fall in love with Han. And then, of course, all the things we learn about him post the movies, him being a general, him being a father, all this. It's great stuff. And Han is easily deserving of A tier. Up next is AK-47 from the KOTOR video game. I love him. He's one of the funniest characters ever. He's not super deep, though, but he is one of the funniest droid characters in all of the expanded universe. And, I mean, there's a lot of dialogue with him. He may not have character development but the character they present to us is so strong that I can't help but I have to give him at least a B. He is consistently just a source of entertainment wherever he pops up in. He is a phenomenal droid character. Um, yeah, I know a lot of people don't like him. I love HK though. Love him. I get why people don't though. Up next is IG-88. If we're talking about the movies, he is a nothing character. He's just there. But the concept that Kevin J. Anderson brought us in Tales of the Bounty Hunters actually like really warmed me up to his character. And I think he's also easily deserving of a B. He's one of the more interesting droid characters, in my opinion. He's also, while he is a movie character technically, he wasn't really a character till the EU. I think the reason I leave C-3PO at C is because he remains consistently the same throughout everything, but that and he was featured heavily in all 6 films. So I don't feel like it's necessary to place him any higher considering this is supposed to be an EU tier list. So I think what we got next, if I'm not mistaken, that's Isolder or Isildur, however the fudge you're supposed to say that. Um, why is that 2 separate categories? Ah, sorry. But I think this is Isildur, however you want to say it. He's a pretty solid dude. I loved him in Courtship. I love the idea that you have this kind of rom-com thing going on, right? With Han, Leia, and Isolder. And they could have just made him be like a stereotypical like jerk, but he's not. He's actually a really good dude, you know, and I love that. And his family, his entire sector space influences so much of stories moving forward. But I actually really like his personality. I think he's a really good guy, and I enjoy all the stories that feature him in it. And I think he deserves a solid B. And that's just me. People may disagree, but I think he's good. He doesn't get featured too much, but when he does, I always enjoy seeing him. I sold her. He's Fabio. Right, he is also the second Death Star. Right. Up next, we have I forget his name, but he is Malcolm something. Jace Malcolm, something like that. He's not a clone. I know it gets weird because when you look at if you haven't actually played or I've watched 8-hour videos on each class story of the SWTOR video game, and then I watched the like 2-hour to 3-hour long videos that were about the expansions, the Shadows of Revan, the Eternal Empire, all that stuff. I saw all of that, so I don't have every single side quest ever conceived in my mind with that game because I haven't actually played it myself, but I do have the overall gist of the story beyond like reading a summary. I've actually experienced it through YouTube, so I know around the gist, and I've read all the short stories and everything, including him. I think he's a pretty decent character. He's not a clone trooper. I know that the armor looks like a clone trooper. It's not a clone trooper. They are just soldiers. It just looks like clone trooper armor. Yeah, partially because prequels were hot back then. Yes. But also canonical reason, like the Mandalorian Wars only happened like 300 years ago, so a lot of the design comes from Mandalorians. I mean, it's the same thing with the clone trooper armor. They look like Mandalorians, right? That's more of a Django thing or whatever. I don't remember why. I don't remember the full explanation in that, but the explanation for like SWTOR is because Mandalorian Wars happened. But that being said, I just wanted to clarify he's not a clone. He's just a normal dude in armor that looks a lot like clone trooper armor, just for reference. But he is the father of Theron Shan. He had some fun times with Bastila Shan's great granddaughter, Satele Shan. And he is a pretty solid dude. I enjoyed him. I especially enjoyed the short stories that included him and Theron and them trying to, reconcile all that. We don't get too much with him though, which is the issue. So I'm pretty happy just giving him a solid C. I think he's a decent character though. Okay, look. First off, Mr. Nerd, I don't know if it is Delta Squad because it's just a bunch of clone troopers. I don't know if it's the Omega Squad from the Republic novels or if it's Delta Squad from the video games. But if we're talking about character development and depth, it doesn't exist with Delta Squad. They're just a really cool commando squad. Like, that's great. but that doesn't deserve anything higher than like a C list for me. And then Grievous is also not that deep. Grievous is really cool. Like, I understand, like, my nostalgia and my testosterone in me go like, oh yeah, seeing Grievous destroy all those Jedi in the, the O3 Clone Wars show, like, and in the Republic comics, like, that needs to be S tier. Like, that's what my heart wants, but realistically, he doesn't deserve that, which is why I didn't put him there. And IG-88, yeah, go read Tales of the Bounty Hunters and tell me that IG-88 isn't phenomenal. Come on, man. You got to get into reading the EU before you can critique me on my EU tier list. But, it's okay. You can disagree with me. You can make your own tier list once you've read enough of it. I don't know why this is counted separate. I feel like somebody really hates the Denningverse with this freaking tier list. But no, they're the same character. They're the same character. F off. It's not two different universes. It is one universe, one timeline. Accept it, seethe, and cope. Both versions are also easy S tier characters. S tier character, because it's one. Jason Solo / Darth Kaitis are an S tier character. Jason Solo is my favorite character in all of Star Wars, let alone the expanded universe. Jason Solo is S tier. If you want to know more in depth about what I feel about Jason Solo, I did an interview with OG Star Wars where I discussed Jason Solo. But in short, I love his arc. I know so many people in quality autism with this like 999, I'm Drummond, and I don't like the direction it took. I hate Denning, blah 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 blah. I don't care. Okay. Jason Solo's arc is great. Okay. I haven't had such a mix and twist of emotions like I've had with this character. Okay. This character has put me through the ringer of a roller coaster of emotions with this character. You know why I bought? Oh, okay. First off, before I get back to it, for Mr. Nerd, Bosk is just a bounty hunter who happens to resemble the Predators from the Predator movie. That's it. He's not that deep. I've read the Bounty Hunter Wars trilogy. It's the most in depth we get with him and his father. He's not that deep. He's not that deep of a character. I struggle to not put him in Emperor's Black Bones. He's so like bare bones of a character. There's not much to Bosk. He's very simple-minded. Okay? But like he's cool. He's a cool like reptile that can shoot people. He's just a bounty hunter. Yeah, he is. He's just a bounty hunter. There's like almost nothing else to him outside of that. How can I give him anything more than a D or C on that? Not to mention all the stories featuring him are boring. His own story tells the bounty hunters is one of the weak parts of just landing there in the movie. And then in what else does he appear in besides Bounty Hunter Wars? Nothing really. He's just kind of there. And then when he shows up in TCW, it's contradictory because he's like friends with Boba when he should hate Boba. Actually, where I like Bosk the most was in the young adults novel Episode 2 Adventures, which took place before Episode 2, because him and Kradosk, his father, are on a mission with Jango and Boba Fett, and Bosk is really funny in that. He's really, really funny. I mean, that's great for him. I wish he was a more interesting character, though. But back to Jason Solo, my boy, the greatest character ever in Star Wars. I love him so much. Okay, like listen, I get to see Jason Solo be born. Okay, I get to see this guy come into existence within the Star Wars expanded universe. I then see him be a funny little kid in Young Jedi Knights, cracking stupid dad jokes, even though he's not a dad. Just like the most stupid jokes ever. But it's endearing and it's sweet. And then he gets in this relationship with Tino Ka, and it's sweet and it's adorable. Okay? And then we get to New Jedi Order, where he's this annoying little questioning little brat 24/7, where he's constantly like whining and complaining to his parents about this and that and this and that. I don't want to hurt people, blah, 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 just being a problem. And then we get to Traitor and onwards, and he becomes one of the most fascinating characters ever. And then if you're willing to accept the direction it goes post New Jedi Order, the descent, the fall into what he becomes is so compelling to me. He made me cry on several occasions. I love Jason. He put me through such a wide variety of emotions and experiences, and I can't not put Jason Solo on S tier. He is my favorite character in Star Wars. I love him to death. Jason Solo for the win. If you disagree, make your own tier list. Um, Jag is the next one. Uh, I like Jag a lot. I know a lot of people that are like Matt Wilkins or Scott or Brennan prefer Zach. I don't know why. I get it. You know, Jag is kind of stoic, but that's kind of the point. Like he grew up in the Chiss ascendancy. Like most of them are stoic and not showing emotions. I mean, do you even remember Thrawn showing that much emotion? No, not really. He didn't. You know, I think Jag, is not that they explicitly say this because it'd be kind of cringe to say in a novel, but he's kind of introverted. Like he's not like big and outgoing. That's not the kind of person he is. He's kind of quiet. He's kind of reserved, but he has a lot of love in his heart for Jaina. And you can see that throughout all the books. And I think it's a very sweet relationship they have. Do I like Zek and Jaina? Yeah, in Young Jedi Knights. But, then Jag got introduced, and it just seemed like a more mature relationship. I mean, maybe not in New Jedi Order, but moving forward it was. And I don't know, man. I get why people prefer Jag, but I or prefer Zach, but I think Jag is a solid. Not frick. Get a Jaina. I didn't pick you yet. Shut up. I think Jag is a solid B. That's just me, though. You're free to disagree with me. What's next? Up next, we have Jaina Solo, who is, for me, an easy A tier. The issues for me not putting her in S tier is that she's dubbed the Sword of the Jedi, yet I never felt like she really earned that title. Maybe she would have earned that in the trilogy titled Sword of the Jedi, but so far as, the books go, I never felt like she did anything worthy of that title. That, and, I'm not a girl. I can't relate to her as much as, some other people can. But she's a great character. I love reading about her. I love her struggles. The fact what she has to do with Jason, everything sucks. But I love a lot of things about her, though. She's just not one of my favorites. I can't put her in S tier, but she's a solid A, which she stands among some pretty great giants. Freaking Exar Kun, Revan, Kreia, Lobaka, Chewbacca, Cade Skywalker, Anakin Skywalker, Akbar, Borsk, Han Solo. Like she's in a good lineup. So it's nothing to be ashamed of to be in that ranking. What do you mean saying Jaina is easy? What do you mean? Wait, when did I say she was easy? Like, how do you mean? I wasn't trying to. I mean, I know you're like kind of like joking, but I legitimately don't know what I said to. What did I say? All I said is that she's like a good character, but she didn't earn the Sword of the Jedi title because she never really did anything worthy of that. Like that sounds like a really big deal. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Good movie though, as you said. Who's next? Dodonna. I mean, I don't know. Dodonna isn't really featured that much. I mean, he's in like supplemental material, but as for novels, he's not really like a big factor in any of those. I know I mean, like in the X-Men books, the stuff, but like he's not really a prominent character. I don't know. I don't think I can give Dodonna more than a C, unless they were like make a prequel book showing how he like joined the rebellion. Then he can maybe be bumped up to a B or an A. But as far as it goes, I don't know. He's fine. He's not great or anything though. Same thing with Jan Ors. Like, I'm sorry. Actually, no. Yeah, I mean, Jan Ors is pretty basic too. Like, there's not much to her, and it's not her fault. It's the fact that it all comes from a video game. And back in the day, people didn't care about making video games be as story driven as before. And even the novella doesn't really feature too much, so it's hard to kind of gauge her character. But had Dark Forces came out, in like 2012, like when we were getting games like The Last of Us that were super story and character driven, perhaps she could have been something really great. But she's fine. She just exists. I don't know. True, she is a strong woman of color. Doesn't change the fact that she's a bare bones character. Yeah, but both Jan Dodonna and Jan Ors C's. Jango Fett. Am I also gonna piss people off with this one? Maybe so. Maybe so. I'm gonna place Jango Fett in A tier, above Boba Fett. Open seasons really opened my eyes to him. The Blood Ties comic that has the flashbacks with him are really great. And while he's not featured too much, I think he's a much more interesting character overall than Boba Fett. In fact, the only thing that redeems like Boba Fett would be C or D right now, if not for the Legacy of the Force series. Is the only thing redeeming him from being a lower tier is Legacy of the Force specifically, and the Blood Ties comic and the Boba Fett is Dead comic is literally the only thing that saves Boba from being a C or D. He's not that compelling to me. I know everybody loves Boba. He's like this perfect bounty hunter with a moral code, but he's just a bounty hunter. And I know people get pissed off of that. Like, oh, he's just a bounty hunter. What do you mean? He's so cool. Like, I get it. He's cool. But being cool isn't enough for me to rank you high. Like, you got to be more than that. You have to have substance. You got to be a character. He just isn't in most of his stories. He's just a cool bounty hunter in almost all of them. Except for Legacy of the Force and those comics I mentioned, where he actually becomes something more than just a bounty hunter. And it's stuff like that that makes me, care about him as an actual person instead of just, oh, this cool character that can do this cool stuff, right? But Jango Fett already had that from the get-go. Jango Fett was already something more than just a bounty hunter. Maybe not in episode 2, but all the supplemental material, all, the expanded universe stuff did make him be something more. And so I think, he is a bounty hunter. I'm not saying he's not or anything, but like Boba Fett Blood Ties, with him and the clone and everything, and not killing the clone and everything. The stuff in Open Seasons where we get to see the origins with Jaster Muriel and all that. Like, that's so much more to him than just a bounty hunter. And so for that reason, I think it's an easy A for me. Yeah. At least you understand me. Moving forward, we got Jar Jar Binks. Jar Jar Binks gets a lot of hate. I know other tier lists would put him in Emperor's Black Bones, but you know what? I think he's a C. I think he's perfect for what he is. He's comic relief. And I think people give too much hate on this guy. I've seen the reviews. I've seen all the arguments on, on the internet where it's like, oh my God, he ruins the movie. He just doesn't shut up. And like, you actually watch the movie and he fills up like maybe 10 minutes of screen time out of like a 2.5 hour movie. Like, people over exaggerate how much of a problem Jar Jar Binks is. Okay, he steps in poop. It's stupid. The scene is over before you can even think about it. Oh, he puts his tongue in a little like electricity thing. Oh my God. Literally like a couple seconds, like a minute at most of that. As compared to a 2.5 hour movie. It's ridiculous. People act like he takes up like half the screen time with his shenanigans, and it just doesn't happen. You over-exaggerate the hate toward him. He's fine. He does what he's perfectly intended to do, which is make kids be entertained, which it did. I know I did as a kid. And even now, like, I find it more annoying now. Like, I don't think it's funny, but I'm like, it's annoying, but it's over before I can get really pissed off about it. Anybody who says like he like ruins the movie, like, stop. Just like enjoy some happiness. Like, stop being so cynical all the time. No. Oh, speaking of which, two Star Wars nerds, in the episode 1 adventures, we literally get to learn what made Jar Jar Binks be exiled from his home. And you know what? It's stupid. And that series is still vastly more interesting than anything that Bosca's ever done. At least in a story. I don't care about like supplemental material goes like, oh, well, at some point, Boss did this. Great. Can I have a story where I get to see him being cool? Because I don't get to see it. So you know what? It is a hate crime, and it's legal, as my Finn Shamrock channel would say with episode 3 of Cancer of YouTube, where I destroy racism. That's some deep lore of Magneto you have to check out at some point. Look, Strike, listen, you got to understand. You got to understand, Strike. You got to understand. Right? I'm trying to be objective here. Like, I love the Delta Squad. I love Grievous. But as people, as actual characters with fleshing out who they are, they don't have that much development within the video game. Even in the Republic Commando books, they don't really evolve that much or change. Like, they're fine, but they don't have character development. They just exist. They're just there. You know what I mean? Like, they don't advance. There's no meat to the potatoes. It's just a potato. There's no seasoning on it, no, there's no cheddar cheese on it and sour cream and all that and chives. There's none of that. It's just a baked potato. And a baked potato's fine, but I can't give it more than that. I can't. I just can't do it. I'm sorry. It's just who I am. No, yeah. Yeah. And Grievous again, like my heart says put Grievous in S tier, but like realistically, he's not that deep either. Um, I mean, yeah, that's also a reason why they're better than Bosk, because they can just roast him alive. You'd say boom de guy. You'd say boom de geyser done crashing der bosses hit blibber din banished. Exactly. But no, yeah. Frick you, I'm putting Jar Jar Binks on the same level as Delta Squad and putting Bosk in D tier. Get destroyed along with Malik from KOTOR. Deal with it. Deal with it. Up next we have Jeriel, which is more of a deeper cut if you haven't read the KOTOR comics. But Jeriel, I think she's really cool. Again, it's an inherent issue with comic book characters because they can't ever get as much development as a novel character can. But I do think Jeriel is a solid character, especially with all the things that are revealed. I won't get into spoilers that we learn about her in the KOTOR comics. I will give her a solid B. I think Jeriel's great. Frick. There we go. Jeriel is a solid B. Also, since I'm the voice of, Zane, it'd be kind of messed up if I didn't put my love interest a little bit higher. But I am Zane Garrick forever and always now. I'm the official voice of Zane Garrick. I know I'm not, but you can just accept that as fact. Don't question it. I am Zane Garrick now. So you all got to deal with that. Yeah. Hey, I can do Zane because I just do my voice, right? But I also think I do a pretty solid Akbar. You're like, as a top. Now we must go on to the next tier ranking. I am Admiral Akbar. I'm a fish with fins. I talk weirdly. And this is how I talk every time I review a book. Or every time I read a book that has Akbar in it, I do this voice. Um, with the slow pan over black and white Jar Jar compilation. Oh my god. Yeah, send me more freaking Gungan things, and I'll say it. I'll say it right now. I don't care. Up next is Jax Pavin from the Jedi. From Coruscant Knights and The Last Jedi. Not Episode 8. It's just a book titled The Last Jedi, which is technically the fourth book in the Coruscant Knights series. I think Jax is fine. I personally find his father more interesting. I don't know if his father is on this list. I don't think so. I don't think he is. No. So I'll say this. I'll say if we're going off of Jax, he's a C. He's a fine character. If we're talking about his father, then his father's a B or an A. But Jax, he's fine. He's not my favorite thing ever. But hey, Winter, let me show you my flipper trick. Winter, I know you're married, but I can give you some good seafood, if you know what I mean. Come join me in my tank. I have things to discuss with you. Do you want some ASMR, Akbar? I promise you my voice can be quite soothing when I want to be. Come on, Winter. Come into bed. I need to show you my flipper trick. I'm now Danny DeVito from Batman Returns. There you go, guys. Enjoy that Akbar ASMR with Winter, if that was even understandable. George Cardass, who's meant to look like George Lucas. I like George Cardass. He's not my favorite character or anything, but I think he's a solid B. I think that's fair. For the few times he appears. I mean, he's not super great or anything, but I think a B is fair for him. I don't know if anyone will really disagree with that. Oh my gosh. Juro Sabayoff. Both his original version and his clone version are both equally annoying and frustrating, but they're really fun characters to read about. Um, that being said, actually, I was gonna put him in B, but really think about it. I mean, not George, Juro Sabayoff isn't that deep, either. Like he's pretty bare bones dude. But you know, it is from the Thrawn trilogy, and everybody loves the Thrawn trilogy. Oh my god. I'll give Juro Sabayoff a B with a salt inclination that he could easily fall down to C if I'm being completely honest. Especially because Outbound Flight just showed that he's basically the same. Like the clone is just slightly more insane, but like his original self was not much better either. So, oh, the forgettable love interest, Juno. I'm sorry, Juno. Yeah, no, yeah. There's just not much to her. I'm sorry. If I mean, I will say this. I want to be fair. The Force Unleashed 2 novelization actually makes her a much more interesting character, but it's too little, too late. It's just too late. And most people are gonna play the video games over reading the novel, and she's just not much to her. She's just not that much of a character. I'm sorry. Um, but moving on. Oh my goodness. Okay. So the best thing to come out of Republic Commando, in my humble opinion, is this man right here. Oh my gosh, I love this man. Cal Scarata is my first Mandalorian. I mean, outside of Jango Fett, obviously, to get my humble A tier. I really love Cal Scarata. I think he is the greatest thing that Karen Travis introduced into the Star Wars universe. I think Cal is absolutely phenomenal. Yeah. The plumber crack. I mean, yeah. Yeah. Um and then we've got, I believe this is Cam Solazar. Um if Lightsider did not come out, I'd say he's like a C character. But thanks to Lightsider, I think I'm happy to give him a B. I think the short story really helped flesh out Cam. So I think I'm happy with giving him a B. Um no, I wouldn't go that far. She's not like a horrible character. She's just not great. Um Cal Tainer. I like Cal. He's not my favorite part of Race Squadron. My favorite parts of Race Squadron are Face Lauren and Ton Fannin. But I think I could give him. I'm gonna be honest. I'm just gonna give him a C. I know people are gonna be upset about that. I just personally prefer other characters in Race Squadron more than him. Up next, this is Kennex Keel slash. Uh, well, that's his bounty hunter name, but frick. Why am I blinking on it? I'm so annoyed. But basically, Crimson Empire of Fame. He's fine. I don't know, man. I give him a solid C. He's just not super interesting. I like him, but he's not. I don't know. I don't think he gets any more than a C, personally. Thank you. I'm so sorry. I thought I was an EU fan. No, Connor Jax is further up there. That is Krakenos. It's just the pictures are so small. It's hard to see. But no, because Connor Jax is right here, so that's Krakenos. It's got to be Krakenos. Yeah, he's got the beard and everything. Although he didn't really have a beard in the comics, but whatever. I'm pretty sure that's Krakenos, so you're correct. But yeah. Kenner can't tell the difference either. That's great. That's great. Can I star that? Yeah, that's amazing. That's wonderful. I love that. Oh man, that's hilarious. But yeah, yeah, I'm pretty happy with C. I don't know. He's not one of my favorites. I'm gonna be honest. Like, what do we get with Kit Fisto? We have like a couple episodes with him in the 2008 Clone Wars. We have the adventure, under sea. It's really fun and cool in the 2003 Clone Wars. We have a couple comics with him here and there during, the TCW comics era. Um, he he pops up a few times in the Republic comics. He's heavily featured in Cestus Deception, but even then, he's not that interesting. I was thinking it was going to be C for Kit Fisto, but the more I talk about it, and this might upset people, I'm going to be completely honest. Like, he's cool. Like, if I'm just going off of cool factors, he'd be higher, but off as like an actual character, I'm giving him a D. And that might piss people off, but that's where I stand. And I'm sorry if you disagree, but that's where I'm keeping it. I mean, fair enough. And then I think this is Crook. And Crook for me is an easy, just like the movie implies, another easy A. I like Crook a lot. I like his story throughout, the Republic comics, throughout the Dark Times era. I like Crook, and even his appearances in Legacy comics. So I think I'm happy with that. And then easy S tier, not even a question in my mind. We're not discussing it. We're not debating it. If you don't agree, you're wrong. I'm right. Get out of here. Obviously, Kip Duran is an easy. Easy S tier. I love Kip Duran so much, guys. You don't even understand it. Kip Duran is my outside of Jason Solo is my oh my god, he has to be in the top 10 favorite characters of all the expanded universe ever. I freaking love Kip so much. His introduction in Jedi Academy, all the way to all of his appearances later on. I love Kip Duran. His short story where he's called the Butcher by the Galaxy just like wrenches my heart. This man only seeks redemption and atonement, and his entire life after Jedi Academy is dedicated to that single goal of redemption and atonement for his sins. He's an absolutely incredible character. He's one of the coolest characters too, might I add, and one of the most powerful characters outside of the Skywalker line themselves. He is probably of this time period, you have like Cornhorn, you have Kyle Katarn, and you have Kip Duran outside of like the Skywalker and Solo bloodline. That is probably one of the most powerful Jedi. Like it's either Kyle or Kip that are about the equivalent of Mace Windu during the post Return of the Jedi era. Like, these are some of the most powerful people ever, right? Within this order that aren't Skywalkers. I freaking everything about Kip, and Kip is 99.9% of the time right. He is just, I love Kip so much, guys. You don't understand. Kip is my favorite. Fight me on it. You're wrong if you don't agree. Kip for the win. Moving forward, what's next? Lando Calrissian. I mean, if he was not already in the movies, he'd be S tier, but I'm not going to put a movie character in an EU tier list in S tier. I just won't do it. But he will get a happy A tier because his trilogy in the EU is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, okay, you know what? I mean, I put Dooku there. No, frick it. No. That's not fair. Lando is going in S tier. Lando's S tier, baby. Lando deserves it because Lando's incredible. I freaking love Lando, man. Now, does Lando change that much? Not really. I'll be honest. He doesn't. He's pretty consistently remains the same. Only difference is he garners a wife at some point. He's always going to the next business venture and everything, but he is like the light in the darkness because as post Return of the Jedi gets more and more depressing, he is the one consistent like source of hope and joy. Amidst all the darkness, you can always count on Lando to have some fun. Absolutely love Lando. No matter how old he gets, he remains Lando. And Lando is just perfect. And there's nothing we need to change about him because Lando is already perfect. And so I'm happy to give Lando an S. Now, that a little contradictory to the rest my tier, sure, but frick it, I don't care. Leia. Uh, I'm gonna put Leia in A. I don't think she. The thing is, she's just like a politician for a good portion of the Bantam era. She does a little bit of Jedi training, here and there, but she's primarily just remains a politician. There's no stories really devoted to Leia, which I think hinders her a lot. Besides Razor's Edge, which came out like right before the buyout, there's not many stories that solely focus on her. There are some in like the old Marvel Comics run and everything, but there's not a lot of stories where she just gets to be, the center focus, and she is great. Especially in Darkness, where she finally gets to throw down, and in Legacy of the Force, she gets to throw down, and I really appreciate that. And she finally gets to, to accept that Skywalker bloodline, that Skywalker heritage. But I don't know, man. It's just not enough for me to like, I don't know. She's a great character. Don't get me wrong. She's in a good spot. A tier is nothing to scoff at. I put her in S by accident. Sorry, I mean A tier. There's A tier's nothing to scoff at. There's a lot of great characters on this list. I mean, Anakin Skywalker's on this list, but I just, I don't know. I don't think I can give her S, and maybe that's a hot take, but that's how I feel. Do I still sound like a human, by the way? I just want to check, because I don't know. Do I still sound good? I don't know. Do I sound human? I hope I still sound human. Do I sound human? Okay, I do. Okay. Up next. Who's next on the tier list? We've got Luke Skywalker. Again, I'm going to give Luke an A. I'm trying to exclude the movies in this and just what the EU offers. I can't help it, guys. I have to. I'm giving Luke S tier. Even excluding the movies. He is the quintessential hero. He's something that we should strive to be like, despite our imperfectness, Luke, I think what signifies it for me, or what allows me to put him in S tier, is Dark Empire. The fact that he tries to play double agent and actually falls to the dark side. Kind of like, it's very similar to Quinlan Voss in Ages Past. Try to play double agent and actually started to succumb. And has to suffer with that for the rest of his life, trying, now he's worried, like, I can't become my father because I'm way more powerful than he was. And I will be even more powerful than he was if I turn to the dark side. I can't do it. I could squash everyone in this room like a bug, but I won't. Because with great power comes great responsibility, as Spider-Man would say. And no matter what he goes through in Dark Empire, through New Jedi Order, through Legacy of the Force, Luke remains Luke. He'll be tempted, he'll struggle, but he always remains himself in the end. And that's something I love about Luke. Luke is one of the most aspiring characters in all of fiction. There's only a few people I see on the same tier or above him. One of them, I used to think Superman was boring, but now I see Superman in almost the same light I see Luke Skywalker in. In fact, it's Luke Skywalker that opened my eyes to Superman. And literally the only person I see is more aspirational is someone I believe isn't fictional. Whole separate discussion. I won't get into that. But, who I believe to be my Lord and Savior. As the most inspirational, the most aspirational character in history, not in fiction. But as for fiction goes, Luke is one of the ones up there for me. And I was going to put him in A, but my feelings are too overwhelming here. I have to put him in S. And now I'm the only one watching. Or here. But yeah. Up next. Luminara, blah. I'm sorry. I don't think she's that interesting, and Approaching Storm doesn't really save that fact for me. She's fine, but I'm putting her in D. I'm sorry. Lumaya, for me is a solid B tier. I really like what we see of her in the Marvel comics, and her return in Legacy of the Force is phenomenal. I do really enjoy her character. She's not A or S by any means, but she's above a C tier for me. And so I think I'm happy to put Lumaya in B. And that's where I'll leave that. Okay. Up next, we have Mace Windu. I'll put him in B. If not for Shatterpoint, Mace Windu would be a C. But thanks to Shatterpoint, even though it's not my favorite novel, it does do a lot for his character and does bump him up to a B. But other than that, even in EU, he's pretty bare bones. Up next, we have Mara Jade. I will give her A tier. Mara Jade gets A. Mara Jade's character in, in those books, in all the books she's featured in from, the Thrawn trilogy and onward, I love the idea that she was the Emperor's hand, and that she, Vader was Palpatine's hammer and Mara Jade was his scalpel, and her whole arc with being upset with Luke to falling in love with him and everything with that is great. I think she's solid. I just never found myself like absolutely loving and adoring her like some other people do. And I completely understand why people do. I think she's solid. I think she's great, but she just didn't grab my heart like that. And so I can't put her in S, but she well deserves at least an A tier. Up next, I don't know who that is. So I'm going to put that in not sure. Myrax. There's not much to her either. I personally love her and put her in A or B, but I'm going to put her in C because I know there's not a ton to her. No, I can't do that. I'll put her in B. I like Myrax. Myrax is B for me. Come on. Oh, my freaking mouse, man. Mirtha Gev. Boba Fett's granddaughter. Am I still sounding okay? I don't know. Let me double check this. Do I still sound like a human, ladies and gentlemen? Do I still sound like a human? Do I still sound like a human? I suppose I do. I suppose I do. Yes, indeed, I do. So yes, I shall count that. Yes, indeed. Anyway, moving forward, we have Mirtha Gev, who I'm going to give a solid. I'm going to give her a B. I'm going to give her a B. Who the fudge? Hold on a second. One moment, ladies and gentlemen. Never mind. I don't know what was going on there. Somebody knocked on my door, but it's fine. I'll be fine. No, she's not indeed. Forget that. I'm gonna put her in B. I think she's a good addition in Legacy of the Force. And freak anybody who says otherwise. Mission is fun, but she's not that great. She's very bare bones. I don't want to give her a D though. I'll give her a C. She's fine. Same thing with Cade Skywalker's mother. I think she's fine. I'll give her a C. Dala. Dala, I'm giving. I'm gonna piss some people off with this. I know it, but I'm giving Dala a B, and you all piss off. I like Dala. I don't understand the hate, so I'm giving Dala a B. You can all piss off, okay? All right? That's what I'm doing. Keeping it there. Keeping it there. Keeping it real. Up next, we have, I forget her name, but the female Vong from New Jedi Order. She was pretty good. I don't remember her super explicitly, but I'll give her a C because I don't remember too well. But I remember her being good. Then easy S tier. Nominor is one of the greatest villains in all of Star Wars. Conniving. I love how self-centered he is, how focused he is on his goals and his needs and his wants. He's not the most powerful person in the room. Most people could stomp him, but it's not about his strength. It's not about his being menacing or imposing. It's about how he's able to slime his way through things. He will backstab, he'll betray, he will garner your trust, he will make a false religion, all in the hopes of obtaining former glory or obtain more power. He doesn't even necessarily need to be the ruler of the universe. He just wants to make sure he's as close to that as possible. If he needs to be second in command to ruler of the universe, he shall be. Because it's all about him and, making sure he's on the upper echelon of people. And there's something about him where, yeah, he's not that much of a threat physically. It's just his constant scheming and finding ways of getting out of trouble that I love Nominor. Nominor is such a fun villain, and I think he's an easy S tier for me. Going down, Nomi Sunrider. Nomi Sunrider for me is a solid B. I know it's not, I just need to fix it. She's a solid B for me. I think Nomi's really cool. I like her story in Tales of the Jedi. I like her relationship with Ulick. I wish we would have gotten more with her, though. I wish we would have gotten more. Then we have Kenobi. If we're including the expanding universe and everything that is held within that, I have to give Kenobi an S tier. I have to. I mean, if we're including Jedi Academy or not Jedi Apprentice alone, he must be S tier. I mean, freaking Obi-Wan Kenobi is one of the greatest characters in all of Star Wars, but even excluding the movies, like all the expanded material with him is great. So easy S for me. I'm sorry. I have to. There's just not much to her, guys. I like her as a character, but as for the EU, there's really nothing with her. TCW gives us some episodes, but it's just not enough. So I can't give her anything more than that. I don't think she's really deserving of a C because she's barely featured in anything besides the movies. It's just like there's not much. I'm sorry. Although, as an EU character, Qui-Gon Jinn is an easy S. I have to, guys. I mean, Jedi Apprentice really sealed the deal for me. Jedi Apprentice made him so much more than he was in the movies, and he is an easy S for me. I can't not do it. I have to. I'm sorry. It's absolutely well deserved. Jude Watson, you are a goddess. I can't not. Up next, we got Quillen Voss. Now, this is a struggle for me. Is she an A or is she an S? And I really struggle to figure that out. As it stands, I'm going to put Quinlan Voss. I think he will be in S tier. I think it's well deserved. His entire arc throughout the comics is just incredible. And I love Quinlan Voss to death, and I think he's easily deserving of an S tier. And, I struggle between A and S, but I'm sticking with it. R2D2. He's going to get a C just like C-3PO. Nothing further to say there. What's his name? I forget his name. But I think he's an okay C. Same thing with her. I forget her name too, but She's cool. I'm gonna be honest, I never liked him in anything he appeared in ever. He has a character. I didn't like it. I just find him absolutely boring. He's my only Emperor's Black Bones. I just don't care about him at all. I'm sorry. I I don't care. Just piss off. I just don't care about him. Say Passage sucks. I'm sorry. Um, Satil, she's a C. She's fine. Shakti, also fine. Now, fun stuff. Sunterfell. It's between A or S, but I think what I'll land with, he's really cool and stuff. He's not my favorite though personally, so I'm gonna leave him in A tier. But he is a solid character in the expanded universe. No, no, stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it. No, well, no. I can't put him above Jag. So no, they're both gonna be in B tier. Okay. Starkiller, yeah, sorry, Starkiller. Tahiri, uh, okay, 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 okay. Okay. I'm gonna put her in S. I love Tahiri. She's an S for me. Not easy, I had to think about it, but I'm giving her S. Then move down. We got Talon Card, who I will give a solid A. I think Talon Card's a really good character. Every time he shows up, I have fun with him, but he's also not like one of my favorites or anything. So I think a is more than fair for him. Tino Ka, sorry. Again, not being fair here. Maybe I am. I don't know. She is an easy S for me. I love Tino Ka to death. Tino Ka gets my freaking S tier. Above this. Yeah, she gets S tier as well. Now, Tino Ka's mother is a C for me. She's fine. Not one of my favorites, though, but she's a solid C. Theron Shan, also for me, a solid C. Thrawn, solid A for me. Sorry, a moment. A tier for Thrawn. Tion, she's a C. She's fine. I don't know. Is this just like Yusung Vong in general? Like, which Vong is this supposed to be? I don't know. I'm not sure who that Vong is, but the Vong in general, as a being, gets an A tier from me. But I don't know who this particular Vong is supposed to be, so it's going to be not sure for now. I think this is Tycho. He's a solid B for me. I like Tycho. Tycho's cool. So I'll put him in B. Ulick. Ulick is, for me, mostly thanks to Redemption, S tier. And then, of course, we have, up with this one, Verger, who is, for me, an easy S. I discussed Verger at numerous lengths and detail elsewhere. You can find it elsewhere, but she is my favorite woman character in the expanded universe. Then we got Vistara Kai from Fate of the Jedi, and she, for me, is an A tier. She's pretty solid. I don't know who this is, so I'm going to say not sure. It's the lady from KOTOR 2. She's I'm going to be honest, a D. I don't really care about her that much. Wedge is a solid A for me. You know, he was not really a character in the movies. Yes, he's in the movies, but he's not really a character. But the EU fleshed him out and made him something so much more than he was in the movies, and that's why I think he's easily deserving of an A tier. Winter, she's fine. She's a C. Whatever this guy's name is from Dawn of the Jedi, he's a D. I just don't care enough about him. Sorry. Caesar, C. He's okay. Yaddle, C's okay for her. This guy, I mean, he's barely featured, so I'm going to put him as D. I'm sorry. I mean, he's fine when he was introduced, but he just doesn't have much. Yoda, honestly, he's not even in the EU that much, besides Yoda Dark Rendezvous. But obviously, I'm going to put him in A just because of that book alone. Then we have Yasun Izard. I think she's a B. I think she's a pretty solid villain. I'll leave it at that. So I'll put her at B. Then we have Zane Carrick, which I have to say, after thinking about it a lot, after doing, the voice acting that I did for him and everything, and rethinking over his entire story, he would have been in A tier before I did my rethinking. But thanks to my, going over it again, I think that Zane and his entire story puts him up at S. I love Zane a lot. And so I'm putting him in S tier. Anybody else who doesn't agree can fight me. Zane's incredible. Up next, I don't know who this is supposed to be. So I'm going to put in don't, not sure. And then Zinj. I'll be honest, I don't care for him a lot. I don't think he's that fun of a villain. I'm going to put him at C. That's the best he gets. And that is my tier list. I zoomed past the last bit of it. Nobody's even here anymore. Somebody cares. But here is the official ending to the ranking for my Expanded Universe character list. Emperor's Black Bones, D tier with Bosk, Danny, Malik, Attain, Juno, Kit Fisto, Luminara, Natalie Portman, Padme, Starkiller, the blind chick from KOTOR 2, this dude that I forget his name, Longneck Boy. C tier, we have Warlord Zinj, Yaddle, Zizor, Cade's mom, that one Yusong Vong lady, R2D2, that dude, that woman, Satil, Shakti, freaking Tino Ka's mother, Theron Shan, Tion, Winter, Mission, Kirkanos, Keltainer, Jax Pavin, Jar Jar Binks, Jan Ors, Jan Dodonna, Jace Malcolm, Grievous, Dirge, Delilah Blue, Delta Squad / Omega Sludge / everything from the Republic Commando books. Darth Talon, Darth Nihilus, Malgus, Connor Jax, Callista Ming, C-3PO, Kyle Katarn, Bastila Shan, Alpha, and Abeloth, all in C tier. In B tier, starting from the bottom, we have Yasin Izard, Tycho Selko, Suterfell, Nomi Sunrider, Dala, Mirtha Gev, Myrax, Mace Windu, Lumaya, freaking Cam Solazar, Joro Sabioth, George Cardass, freaking her, I forget her name, frick. Oh my god. Jeriel, Jag, Isildur, IG-88, HK-47, Tarkin, Gavin, Ganner, Dengar, freaking Dash Rendar, Booster Tarek, Darth Maul, and Cornhorn, Carthonasi, Bria Theron, Boba Fett, Barra Sophie, Aura Singh, Asajj Ventress, Ayla Secura. In A tier, we have Yoda, Wedge Antilles, Vistara Kai, Thrawn, And Talon Card, Mara Jade, Leia Skywalkers, Leia Organa Solo, Crook, Cal Scarada, Jango Fett, Jaina Solo, Han Solo, Exar Kun, Darth Vader / Anakin Skywalker, Kreia, Revan, Lobaka, Chewbacca, Canderous Ordo, Cade Skywalker, and Akbar. And at S tier, we have, as the greatest of the greats, Zane Carrick, Verge, Ulick Queldroma, Tino Ka, Tahiri, Quillen Voss, Liam Neeson, I'm just kidding, Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, Nominor, Luke Skywalker, Lando Calrissian, Kip Durin, Jason Solo / Darth Kaitis, Gilead Pelion, Darth Zana, Count Dooku, Palpatine, Darth Plagueis, Darth Krayt, Darth Palpatine, Ben Skywalker, and Anakin Solo. This is my tier. If you don't like it, if you disagree with it, make your own tier list, send a link to me, and I'll make sure to go check it out. But that is it for all today, guys. Next time you see me, hopefully I should be done with the first book in the Black Fleet Crisis, and you shall have a review of that coming out. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this live stream, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know what your tier rankings would be in the comment section below. And as always, guys, may the Force be with you. See you later.